Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome to Ascension to Love with Alice. Thank you so much for being here as we look at this Mercury retrograde. So we've got Mercury in retrograde from October the 13th all the way through to November the 3rd, I do believe. So I thought it'd be really quite fun. I felt really quite guided to do a little reading to see how the divine feminine and the divine masculine will be expanding and experiencing this this retrograde. So we're going to have divine masculine on one side, divine feminine on the other. First and foremost, we're going to start out with a couple of themes that this Mercury retrograde will bring us. There are a few other planets in retrograde as well. We know that this is a very high energy cycle that we are in for the last few months of 2020 to really push us through into that expansion space so that we can have the upgrades and experience those those upgrades and those shifts that we have to really to be able to anchor in that light on planet Earth. And this has been a very, very, very important time for that. And look at that, we've got releasing negativity coming up here first and foremost, which is a perfect card to actually start this reading on, because I do believe Mercury will be stationed in Scorpio for the first part of its transit. For those who followed me for a little while, you'll know that whenever I refer to divine masculine, divine feminine, we have both of those within us, and the whole point of talking about them is so that we can actually really bring it back in to help balance that sovereignty of both of them within one. And that's really how we find union. That's really how we come back to that oneness. You may be here watching this for a divine counterpart, and that's totally fine. But do watch it from both sets of eyes if you can. If you are here to watch this for a specific twin flame, do be sure to rewatch it from the eyes of, okay, this is my divine masculine and this is my divine feminine energy that is also experiencing this shift. So we've got, let's get cracking. So we've got this Scorpio energy coming out here. So we've got Scorpio energy coming out. We've got a new moon in Leo energy coming through as well as themes for this Mercury retrograde. And let's get one final card. Thank you so much. Look at that, I've got double Leo coming out here. So we've got a lot of energy coming out here. The cards just did not want to stay in the deck, so I will actually lay them all out here. Let me just clear the table a little bit. Usually we only have 3 and I had about 6 wanting to jump out, so probably would explain as well, because we've got about 6 weeks of this retrograde, haven't we? So that would make sense. So we've got here Scorpio energy coming through. So this Mercury retrograde, Mercury is very much about communication. It impacts technology as well, as most people know and remember. Retrogrades are really incredible things, because what they do is they give us the opportunity to be supported in releasing whatever is no longer serving, right? And Mercury retrograde kind of gets a bad rap, but it's one of my favorite ones. And when you actually work with the energies that are here, you're really able to transmute and shift and alchemize a lot of energies that have been maybe holding you back for quite a while. So let's have a look at what we've got coming forward here. So we've got that Scorpio energy coming through. So that's that deep-rooted energy. It's that Scorpio is all about that birth and death cycle as well. Ends and beginnings, transitions. It's that water sign, and we've got that water paired with fire sign here. So it starts off, and it may be quite a there may be quite a few kind of tender conversations coming forth, or misunderstandings coming through, especially if you are in a divine union here. So this may be how things start. So just be a little bit wary about what you feel like you wish to say, and see if you can come at it from an aspect of love. We've got on the bottom of the deck here this full moon in Cancer, so we've got a couple of water signs kind of holding the space of this Mercury retrograde through the time period that it's in. But what I love here is we've got Leo energy coming in really strong. So that's all about that fire energy, that masculine energy. So we've got 2 water signs, 2 fire signs. So it's quite well balanced when it comes to that fire and the water there, kind of like opposites. And this is all about new beginnings here. It's all about new beginnings and sovereignty. And what I feel is actually coming in here with this, especially with this new moon in Leo, is this kind of this boldness about actually being comfortable and feeling the courage to be who you are, and to really allow yourself to have that confidence to move forward fearlessly as well. We're getting don't let the past hold you back. So there might very well be a lot of triggers coming up between you twin flames. But they're saying hold the vision. What happens right now if you are in a tumultuous time, if you are having a bit of like conflicts coming through, don't worry a great deal, because you know it's bringing it up so that you're able to clear it, right? It's bringing it forward so that you can clear it. If it doesn't get brought forward, it just stays there to fester and to kind of have walls put up around it. And that's what the Scorpio energy is really great for, is to really actually bring that out of you. But they're saying as well to hold your vision as well. So like, just kind of remember what the connection is that you have with your divine counterpart, right? You know, really remember that you are already spiritually married, you guys. Like, if you're twin flames watching this specifically, you know, you are already married spiritually. You know, you've got eternity behind you and eternity ahead of you, right? And everything that happens, especially through retrogrades, everything that happens is there to help you shift what is no longer relevant, what is no longer serving, what is holding you back, right? And here we've got this the full moon in Leo energy, which is, you know, don't let pride get in your way here. So we've got that energy wanting to be released here. So we're starting out with like the painful kind of heart cracking open energy with the Scorpio, and we're finishing off with the but don't let your ego, don't let the pride get in the way. So it feels like the feminine energy is really starting this this cycle off for us, and then we're going through it. We're going through things, you know, we're kind of going through the process, right? Allowing us to forgive and move on from the past, and to see it with new eyes, with fresh eyes. And then it's closing up with the masculine, then closing that cycle of this Mercury retrograde, and especially with this full moon in Cancer coming in here as well. You know, this is very much all about that home life, right? That maternal line, right? So we've got a lot of energy coming in here to support us, and it's a really good mix, in my opinion. But what I really want to delve into is, let's have a little look here. What's the, you know what, let's start with the divine feminine. What's the divine feminine going to be experiencing here through this Mercury retrograde? What's she going to be releasing? What's shifting for the divine feminine? Thank you. We've got Lady Venus coming in with downloads and understanding. We've got Holy Amethyst coming in with divine alchemy, and we've got Saint Germain with karma releasing. Look at that, you know. And then finally we've got, there's a lot of cards wanting to come through, you guys, here for these, so I'm actually going to lay them all out again. So we've got Lady Venus coming in, so there's going to be lots and lots of things kind of unraveling for you, divine feminine. You know, you're gonna actually really start to see things from a different perspective, but sometimes you're gonna have to get that trigger point first, right? Sometimes we do need that trigger point to actually be able to really see the clarity from that. And you know, you're connected so much with that astral realm, with the celestial realm, with the higher energies, that now is a very good time for it actually to come through. But it feels like it is going to get it is going to need that triggering to start off with. We've got Holy Amethyst coming in here with that divine alchemy, right? And it's and this is very much divine feminine. It feels very much like you're going to be focusing on oneness. It feels very much that you're going to actually find a new comprehension of understanding that, you know, only love is real, separation isn't real, right? And even if you are physically separated from your counterparts, or if you're looking at this for within, then if you and your divine masculine energies aren't that balanced, you're really going to be finding that oneness within, as you release past life karma, as you release inner child wounding, as you release times where you feel like you've maybe been betrayed and things like that, and really get to a point where you can unleash the sacredness of you know, of who you are. Let those wings soar and actually move with the rhythm of the world, and move with the rhythm of the divine. And that's what it feels like this space of time, especially during the Mercury retrograde. This space of time is actually going to be coming and bringing you. You know, you're going to actually start to see that the masculine energy within you isn't externalized in another person. You know, you're going to realize that every time you use those terms, divine masculine, divine feminine, to refer to a counterpart, you know, that you're adding to that separation, and you're going to realize that you actually have a different understanding in order to bring it together into that oneness, right? And it's a beautiful thing, because it's starting and ending with understanding here, starting with understanding and finishing with the sacred self. And there's just that alchemy and that karma release in here to actually shift. And Joan of Arc coming through at the end here to actually, you know, reinforce that yes, we are standing strong in our truth, in our purpose. We are understanding this from a new level. No more will there be judgment from our energies within. No more will there be imbalance from our energies within, from our masculine feminine energies, right? It's like you are shielded and protected, and you are coming through into the space of this fearless warrior energy, right? But in the most loving, compassionate way, right, for yourself, right? You know, there's no more going to be that fear of persecution. That's really what Joan of Arc is coming in to say here, is that that's going to be one of the main things that you're overcoming here. So you've got so much understanding coming in, probably going to be from a lot of trigger points, but that's okay, because we know that any trigger points are going to be divinely organized and orchestrated. Especially if you are a twin flame watching this, then you know that you and your twin are the most perfect divine mirrors, right, the clearest mirrors out there. You know, and that's what's going to allow the alchemy and the union to really start to meld together, right? You know, as you start to release what is holding you back. Look at this, Saint Germain is right underneath here. And just remember to stay tuned in as well, divine feminine, to that to all that guidance that you do have. You're so connected to the celestial realms, you're so connected to the higher chakras, that you feel. Don't forget to ground, right? Don't forget to ground your energy, because that's what you want to do. You want to bring all that downloads back through to Mother Earth, so that it can manifest physically and actually transmute physically here in this incarnation. But this is really, really wonderful. And the last thing that they're just saying here with Joan of Arc coming in, especially under the full moon in Leo card, is just a little reminder as well. Try not to let your voice get too carried away, especially when it comes to kind of looking backwards. That doesn't serve anyone. If every time you look backwards, you're bringing the past into the present and recreating that, and it slows down the process, right? So Joan of Arc is just coming in here to allow you to really speak from a higher level, a higher frequency, a higher perspective, with integrity, clarity, truth, love, compassion. And that's when the message really gets across, right? So let's have a look at what the divine masculine is going to be experiencing and going through this Mercury retrograde here. Thank you. We've got the crystal yellow dragon, which was actually on the bottom of the deck. I don't know if you saw it and picked it up on the camera. If you rewind maybe 20 seconds, you'll probably see it, but this was actually on the bottom of the deck before, so I find that quite funny. Anyway, let's just move these cards up a little bit. So we've got here crystal yellow dragon coming out. So it's still about crown chakra, hey, which I think is really, really wonderful, because it's because the divine masculine, the masculine energy in his divinity, he is still connected. He's connected with the celestial realms, he's connected with the earthly realms. He's got that he has got that connection, right? He knows, he's got that charm, he's got that understanding, he's got that you know, he's very like charismatic, but he's got that confidence and that faith coming in. And you know, he doesn't have to rely on his feminine all the time. And what this is really saying, what I feel it's saying anyway, is, you know, he's kind of releasing a lot of his fears here, and he's connecting more with the bigger picture, right? He's connecting more and seeing more of what's going on around. He's releasing a lot of the fears and worries that have been gathering in his solar plexus, right? You know, and the black dragon here is coming out to cocoon him, to allow him to tap in a little bit to one could maybe say more of the feminine energies, but it's just kind of like, it's like a softening of him. It's like he's moving from that wounded aspect that he's been carrying through to you know, through like allowing it to soften so that it can grow. It's kind of like growing it from like the page to a king in a deck of tarot. And look at the bottom of the deck, we've got the fire dragon helping burn up everything around there. But let's see which card wants to come out here. What else is the divine masculine going to be going through? Ooh, there's too many cards, you guys. But let's start here with Archangel Gabriel's dragon. This is purification once again. Look at this. Don't let your past hold you back. Karma releasing for the divine feminine. Divine masculine brings purification, you know. So this is about the divine masculine really tuning into his light energy, his light, he's losing some of that dense energy that he may have had, you know, kind of like that, some of the distortion energy that, and the wounded energy that can be kind of like, you know, work, have no time, and, you know, kind of do a lot but not get very far, and just, you know, be overwhelmed with everything. It's like he's shedding that through this retrograde, you know. It's a very different process the masculine energy goes through in comparison to the feminine energy. The feminine energy has that kind of instant connection really with the divine, and you know, she just has that understanding, and she has that sight, and she has that vision. But the masculine doesn't always do that, because the way that he works through things is physically, right? You know, he physically transmutes it in the earth realm. So and we've got the rose pink dragon coming in here as well. So this is very much a heart space opening. There's a lot of things happening with the heart here. And finally, we've got on the bottom of the deck here as well, just because we're pulling the bottom of the decks as the general theme, the Divine Masculine's got this earth and water, where it's like it's a new start. There is a new start, new opportunities. There is that being able to move around obstacles that are coming in and just actually seeing it for what it is, seeing a lot of the things that, you know, maybe he's taken on commitments, maybe he's taken on work, maybe he's taken on you know, responsibilities, maybe he's taken on things like that weigh down heavily on him, and he's realizing that it's time to just let that go now, right? You know, and it's so funny because like oftentimes the divine the divine masculine energy, he's there to kind of protect and look after the and partner up with the divine feminine. But if he's in his wounded energy, and especially if you're watching this for a counterpart, for a divine counterpart who may be a little bit more in this energy, you know, it feels like the divine feminine, or anyone that embodies a little bit more of the divine feminine versus you know, the masculine energy versus any distortion energy, you know, they can often think that the divine masculine is kind of, you know, doing this and this and then take it on themselves and it can hurt them. But really that's not what he's doing. He's just looking at his day-to-day and focusing in on that, because that's what the masculine does, is focusing in on the work in hand, right, the job in hand. So with the earth and water dragon coming in here as a theme, you know, he's really laying the foundations here to actually begin anew and really shift and shed some skin here, shed what's been holding him back. But the really funny thing is that, you know, oftentimes the feminine energy doesn't really notice, doesn't really know what's going on, right? And what they're saying here is to actually, this, especially with the divine feminine's learnings through this retrograde being all about oneness, being on that understanding, it's like divine feminine energy is going to understand that about her masculine energy, that he's going through the process and it's just a different process. This is what it means when we say something shows up differently. When something shows up differently, it could be the same energy reflecting back, mirroring back, but the feminine of the two might process that in one way, through meditation, through nature, through this, that and the other, and the masculine energy might process that through physical work, through actually moving the body and, you know, and shifting stuff about in the very practical sense. Whew. I'm just going to pull a couple of cards, like if we could get a message from one to another, like if we can get, actually, you know what, let's do, if we had a message from all that is, from source, for both the divine masculine and feminine together, you know, to help them both collectively, jointly through this journey, what would it be, you guys? Explore, ask for a sign, and send love. Exactly. And I don't think that could have been phrased in any better way here. You know, you may be in friendship, look at that on the bottom of the deck, you may be getting pulled, you know, if you are twin flames in union, this may be a tricky time for you right now as you navigate this, unless you've been in union for a very long time and you're very well versed at navigating some trigger points. If you are twin flames in separation, this may be a time where you are actually going to do a little bit of solo work whilst this planet is in retrograde, whilst 5 planets are in retrograde right now, but specifically this is about Mercury. But you may be feeling a little bit drawn away from one another if you're watching this for a counterpart, just whilst you undergo your own transformation and you focus on the things that you need to focus on and the energy that is being pulled out from you, whilst that is being alchemized, right? Divine feminine, you know, and both divine masculine and divine feminine, ask for a sign, right? If you need that reassurance, just watch for a sign, right? The universe, the earth is always providing signs, right? We just have to open our eyes and receive them. That's more of a feminine energy one. And then we've got send love coming in as well, right? And this is one of the beautiful things here, is that, you know, whilst all this, whilst these trigger points, whilst this energy is coming out to shift, you know, sometimes it is just, let's just send energy to the higher self of my twin. Or if you're watching this for within, then you're just sending love to yourself and giving yourself compassion and grace, like stepping out of your comfort zone where you may be very full blown in the action, no time, and you may be being challenged to actually meditate and explore your feminine side. And if you are a divine feminine, this may be more of a send love to your masculine side, because you are now actually starting to put action in place to balance out that energy a little bit more and get more grounded, you know, get more grounded. But friendship is always a good way to kind of go with any type of retrograde, is just to keep it light, keep things simple. This is a really really interesting retrograde, just because of the year that we're in. We're in 2020, we've got 5 planets in retrograde, you know, and we've got so much happening, and these 3 months are going to be the most expansive that we'll have had for the whole year. But it's just going to be absolutely incredible, and just kind of go with it. The rhythms that your body is going through, when your body needs rest, when your body needs hydrate it, you know, with water, or you know, something to replenish electrolytes, right? And when, you know, and when you're feeling a little bit discombobulated, when you're feeling a little bit kind of delicate, get outside and ground. But divine masculine, divine feminine, you are both going through a transformation right now, and that may be happening apart, but that's okay. That may be happening. Just follow the rhythms and flows is what I'm hearing, right? This is a time to release the past, and this is a time to really shift any of that egoic self, the shadow self that has been holding on here, to allow that light to really penetrate in and to get in deeper than it's ever got before. And when that happens, you guys, oh my god, it is so beautiful. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Do like and subscribe if this is your first time on my page. Thank you so much for being here. Do check out my Facebook page, Ascension to Love with Alice, and we have got some spaces for next week. For anyone that is looking to book a guidance session or a deep healing or an Akashic session. So we do still have some space for next week as well. Sending you so much love. Bye for now.